Today on Jer and Jeff Eat New West, it is day 11 of the El Santo Takeover, and we're talking to Sam about how to plan a meal.
With the holidays coming up, here are a few things to think about when planning your holiday menu or any other menu that you may cook at home. The holidays coming up, everyone's looking at what they're going to cook for dinner. It's a little bit of a different time now than normal, so you're not going to have to cook for 30 people at your house, and that menu is going to look a little bit differently. We're going to talk about how to do that. So a couple things you want to look at when you're planning a menu for a home dinner or for just a dinner for two, and that's obviously the components that you have. Typically, you'll want one thing high in protein, you want two vegetables, and a starch. A starch is your potatoes, you can have rice, you can have quinoa, any grains, anything like that. Vegetables, for me, I do like variety and I also like appearance. So I'm gonna go with something green and then something red or white. So either like a broccolini, a rapini, a cauliflower, or roasted red pepper, anything like that. And for the protein, you can go with whatever you want. What I'll typically try and do when designing a menu at home or making dinner is I'll look at what my protein's gonna be and what pairs with it. There are a lot of different flavor pairings that work very well, and you always wanna look at the variance between them. So if I do steak, you'll look at more potatoes, you'll look at more leafy greens, kale, or anything like that. You're gonna wanna look at what you're cooking. If you're making something very rich, you're gonna wanna pair it with something a little lighter, a little more acidic. So making something like a braised short rib or a pot roast, you're gonna wanna pair it with something that has lemon, has some acid in it, some vinegar, some lemon juice, and some bright fresh herbs. Another tip when looking at if you're designing a menu for you and a couple people is to focus on one aspect of it and design it around that. One thing that I've made before at home is I knew that I wanted to make something. We had a lot of coffee left over. I knew I wanted to make something with coffee. So I looked at the coffee and I looked at how I could incorporate that with whatever I was making, and I decided on making like a gnocchi, a potato dish with coffee, because I knew that would taste well and what would go with that. So I went out and I got a little bit of game meat. I got some duck, because I know duck's gonna go with the coffee, and then I knew with that I would want a little bit of a stronger green, so I went and I got kale. Kale has a nice intense flavor that would pair well with the coffee, pair well with the duck. And so when I was at home, I made my gnocchi with my coffee, I made my duck, everything paired very well together, and that was all from the central idea of having this coffee in this dish. So if you ever figure out one thing that you really want to focus on, you can build around that, which helps as well.
Thanks for watching the video, and a reminder, we're still taking donations at El Santo up until December 20th for the sock and underwear and canned food drive. You can drop those off at the restaurant or at the river market. Day 12 is coming up. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we got marshmallows coming.